Hi, welcome to editorial analysis. Today's editorial is from 23rd November 2016. The title is Generic versus Big Pharma Reloaded Data Exclusivity. Let's assume there's an originator drug company, that is, this is the original company which produces a drug. Now it conducts few clinical trials and submits the clinical trial and other data to the drug regulatory authority for the approval of its drug. Now, in the scenario, let's also assume that there is a generic drug company which produces the similar drug to that of the original drug. Data exclusivity is that the drug regulatory authority cannot rely on the clinical trial and other data of the original drug company to in order to approve the similar drug produced by the generic drug company. Okay, so it cannot rely on the data of the original company to approve the generic drug. And it also means that generic drug company cannot rely on the clinical trial data of the original company in order to gain approval for its drug. So, thus it means that the generic drug company has to conduct its own trial in order to prove the efficacy of the generic drug. Okay. Now let's see why data exclusivity is needed, because it acts as a necessary commercial incentive for the original drug companies to conduct the expensive trial and take the potential drug to the market. Since in case of India, under Drug and Cosmetics Act, data exclusivity is provided for 4 years. It means that generic drug company has to wait for 4 years in order to obtain the or use the clinical trial data of the original company to gain the approval for the similar drug. As per the sources, now there is a proposal to extend this time for 10 years. Now the question is, why do generic companies wait for 4 years to use the same clinical trial data instead of conducting their own clinical trials? The main reason being that generic companies usually produce cheaper drugs. Okay, so it can't invest on the clinical trials which are very expensive. Okay, the second reason being to avoid repeating same animal studies in some cases which might be immoral, and also subjecting the human volunteers to the same safety and efficacy test once again. And third reason being is that the complicated federal structure of the drug regulation and clearance in our country. In order to get approval for the drug, the companies have to go through the various drug regulatory authorities. Now, coming to the present situation in the country, first let's take the Drug and Cosmetics Act. In Drug and Cosmetics Act, there are few flaws. For example, it does not state clearly about the studies or data which the generic applicant has to submit. And there is this very complicated regulatory structure which makes it very difficult for the generic drug companies. Plus, the generic drug companies cannot expect much help from the courts because of the lack of experts in the court. Now, taking the example, recently PIL was rejected by the court, which was submitted by the whistleblower Dinesh Thakur on drug regulatory regime. Now, coming to the question, what can be done? First, we have to update the Drug and Cosmetics Act in order to remove the flaws, and we should also make the drug regulatory regime more friendly to the generic drug companies. And we also have to add more experts into the court so that any issues relating to the generic drugs can be addressed by the court. So this is the brief about the editorial. So this is the brief about the editorial Generic versus Big Pharma Reloaded. Now, if this video was helpful to you, please like and subscribe to my channel. And if you want the word format of this article, you can mail me at the email ID mentioned in the description. So hope you have enjoyed this video. Thank you.